Agroforestry is defined as the practice of growing food crops and agroforestry trees and shrubs, keeping livestock on the same piece of land at the same time. Forms of agroforestry. Rows of shrubs or trees are interplanted between the rows of crops. Spacing depends on the trees or shrubs and crops involved. Legumes are best intercropped with grasses, for example, leucaena in a maize field. Rows of shrubs should assume an east to west direction to facilitate sunning. Choice of species of shrubs. For maximum production, certain management practices must be observed. Establishment using seedlings for faster growth, fast cutting when 3 to 4 meters tall, cutting back or coppicing at the beginning of each cropping season to avoid shading effect and reduce competition for water, mineral nutrients, and sunlight. Removing shoots during the growing season when weeding. Wide row planting. Wide row planting involves planting trees at wide spacing of 4 meters by 8 to 12 meters. Trees are planted in east to west direction. Tree growth is allowed unchecked. Border planting. This involves planting of trees, shrubs or hedges on the borders of the farm. They can be used as a fence, mark boundary, windbreaks, provide wood and timber. The trees should not interfere with public amenities such as electricity and telephone lines, water supply and roads. Importance of agroforestry. Agroforestry practices contribute a wide range of benefits for the rural farmer as well as the environment. These include food, shelter, energy, income, fodder, fuel, soil and water conservation, and balancing of atmospheric gases. Food. Fruit trees products provide food. Examples are fruit trees such as mango trees grown along the edge of a maize field. Shelter. Trees provide timber and rafters for construction as well as shade for resting. Energy and fodder. Energy. Agroforestry provide a sustainable source of firewood. Income. Products from timber such as fruits, poles can be sold for cash or used on the farm to save cash. Fodder. Some tree species act as a good source of highly nutritious feeds for livestock. Examples are leucaena and kaliandra. Soil conservation. Trees decrease the amount of water lost to the atmosphere, prevent erosion, restore degraded soil, and increase the yield of useful products. Aesthetic value. Various tree species make the environment look more beautiful, for example, Bahunia variegata and bottlebrush. Balancing of atmospheric gases. Trees use atmospheric carbon dioxide as a raw material for photosynthesis and give out oxygen, which is used by animals in an area. Importance of agroforestry. The common agroforestry trees and shrubs with positive importance to man include the following. Eucalyptus spp. Used for timber, wood fuel, bee forage and eucalyptus oil. Acacia spp. The most important uses include wood fuel, edible gum, animal forage, soil conservation and nitrogen fixation. Croton spp. This agroforestry tree produces wood fuel, timber, poles, shade, bee forage and charcoal. Macamia lutea. This can be used as timber, poles, shade, windbreak, soil conservation, bee forage and aesthetic. Grevillea spp. This can be used as timber, wood fuel, fodder, soil conservation, windbreak, shade, aesthetic, and bee forage. Sesbania sesban. This can be used as wood, fuel, fodder, nitrogen fixing, shade, mulch, and soil conservation. Leucaena lycocephala. This can be used as timber, poles, wood fuel, fodder, mulch, bee forage, and soil conservation. Cajanus cajan. This can be used as human food, fodder, soil conservation, wood fuel. Tree nursery. In this chapter, you shall learn about tree nurseries, their establishment and management. Previously, you learnt about nurseries in crop production. In this chapter, you shall learn about tree nurseries, their establishment and management. Types of tree nurseries. Tree nurseries are categorized as follows: box nursery bed, raised nursery bed, sunken nursery bed, and polythene sleeves nurseries. Factors considered when selecting nursery site. The following factors should be considered when selecting the nursery site: nearness to the water source for easy watering, type of soil should be well drained, deep, and fertile, preferably sandy loam. Topography should be gentle to prevent flooding and erosion through runoff. Security should be well protected from theft and destruction by animals. Seed preparation. Tree seeds are prepared by extraction using 3 main methods before treatment. These methods include drying in the sun. Seeds are placed in the sun to dry until they are open, for example, croton seeds. Seed treatment. Seed treatment is done to break seed dormancy and ensure rapid germination. Also to improve vegetative growth associated with nitrogen fixation. This is called seed inoculation. Other treatment methods used for seed treatment include hot water treatment, which helps to soften the seed coat and make it more permeable to water. The seed is soaked in hot water about 80 degrees Celsius for 3 to 5 minutes. Then the hot water is replaced with cold water and allowed to soak for 24 hours. Examples of seeds treated in hot water include Leucaena, Kaliandra, and Acacia. Weeding. This is done as in vegetable nursery to reduce competition for nutrients and moisture to enhance growth. Care and management of trees. These are practices carried out on trees after they have been transplanted in the field. Protection. Trees are protected against livestock, trespassing, and browsing, especially in early growth. They include sites for agroforestry. The sites for tree planting are broadly categorized as follows. Boundaries. Trees should be drawn on firm boundaries to reduce conflicts. 2 rows of trees can be grown on each side of the boundary. Neighbors can also agree on ownership of every second tree or choosing different species. Riverbanks. Woody plants are used to decrease water velocity along the riverbanks and protects the soil from erosion. The trees can also be used as wood fuel, fodder, fruits, and poles. pruning and training. Any part of the seedling unwanted due to breakage, overcrowding, pests or diseases and productivity is removed through pruning. Grafting old trees. It can be done using bark grafting or cleft grafting. Agroforestry practices. Various practices carried out in agroforestry include alley cropping. This is where crops are grown between lines of trees or shrubs that are spaced and managed at regular intervals in the cropland. Species commonly used include Leucaena leucophila and Kaliandra caloithesis. Multi-story cropping. Multi-story cropping is commonly practiced on those crops that shade tolerant. The trees and crops form different levels which look like story. The trees are planted at a spacing of 8 to 20 meters by 4 meters in rows, running from east to west and left to grow unchecked. The practice retains water and improves soil structure. Example of tree species for this system include whistling pine african or Casaurinus equisetifolia, blackwood or Dalbergia melanoxylon, muhugu or Bracklina hutchinsi, and acacia. Farm forest or woodlot. These are plots of land set aside for trees only. They are established on parts of the farm with low fertility. Farm forests produce timber and poles for construction, fodder, and wood fuel. Trees for farm forests should be fast-growing and will include eucalyptus and acacia.